Happy Sunday, everyone. It's Cerie from the Spiritual View. It's Sunday, January the 12th. Saying hello to everyone around the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening your time. These are daily messages. We have messages and daily content 7 days a week. We do lives on Mondays and Fridays, so you can join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lots of energy going on, and a shout out to the 6 other soul sisters who are part of this beautiful channel, and we're so grateful for you to join us. A lot of energy going on right now. We talked about on Friday Live. If you haven't seen it, I would invite you to go back and look at the replay around the lunar nodes changing to Pisces, North Node, and South Node is Virgo. And that has quite a bit of impact on many of us. So would encourage you to listen to that video for some key messages. Tomorrow's live is going to talk about the full moon, which is tomorrow. And so we will be discussing some of the energies of the full moon and what we want to release. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for returning. And let's get started. So I just pulled some messages. I'm in a different location, so I am pet sitting for my son today, or actually the last 4 days. And there's a combination of 4 dogs, 2 cats, a fish, an iguana, 2 hamsters, and 2 guinea pigs. So it's a little wild around here. So bear with me if I get distracted by animals running around behind me. So as we got started, we've been talking about, with all these energetic shifts, the need to release some old energy, some old patterns, some old belief systems, and maybe some relationships. And we talk about with this energy, the fact that many of us are closing out cycles and soul contracts in old relationships, and oftentimes they are family relationships. We may be beginning new cycles, or we may be ending our soul contracts that we had in this lifetime. And if you are, expect that there is energy that comes with that. Sometimes it's grief, sometimes it's relief, could be anger, who knows? But there's just a lot of ups and downs in the energy. And the recommendation for us on our spiritual path is to stay centered and grounded, not to be swayed out of the center of your core being. Stay grounded with Mother Gaia and just don't participate. It's recommended that we not watch the news. The only thing I would say is my heart goes out in prayers to those in Southern California who have suffered through the fires, and it's devastating to watch. And if you have been impacted, my deepest condolences to you for what you're experiencing. So let's all be mindful and say prayers for those who have suffered with loss of life, loss of home, loss of possessions. So it's a deep time right now for people, and it could be filled with grief, could be filled with lots of different emotions. So we talk about being on the eagle's perch. Pam Gregory talks a little bit about that, and not engaging in the nonsense, the drama, the chaos. There's no use for it, and there's actually no good that comes out of it. So as much as you can, if you can stay grounded and centered into who you are on your spiritual path, the better it will serve you. So the messages from Spirit today, I wanted to start by asking, on your spiritual path, what do you actually think is happening? And I pulled from the Lunar Nomad Oracle. Love this deck. And I got the bear. Okay, you can see that card. And she's at a table with a bear. She's having dinner or having food with the bear. And this stands for strength, mother, sustenance, providence, authority, and nourishment. This card is around shelter and sustenance around the table of the bear. It's an invitation to rest and to refuel the body, the mind, and the spirit. We've been talking about the need to get quiet. And last week's video was around, in the stillness comes the answer. And we have to be still in order to hear the messages that Spirit has for us. So what you think is actually happening, there's part of this that's an invitation to rest, to refuel your body, your mind, and the spirit. Fall back into the love and the strength of the bear. And as you know, bears hibernate in the wintertime. So this is also an invitation to take a step back and to take care and nourish your body, your mind, your spirit, and also your heart. The second message that I wanted to ask, so this is what we think is happening, but what's actually happening at a higher level is this is from the Cosmic Oracle, and this card is called Shine. It's a 29, which goes to 11, which is a master number. And this also it rounds out to a 2. And 2s in tarot are the high priestess. So this is a lot about our intuition, but this is around at a higher level on our spiritual path. Shine not only to light the path for you, but the path of others around you. So this is very similar to being the lighthouse. And you see this light that she has, and she's got peacock feathers around her, but she is lighting her light. So this is very similar to being the lighthouse. And it's not a doing thing, it's a being thing. And so at a higher level of your spiritual path, you have traveled a long road full of experiences that have consisted of sometimes reservations, challenges, and uncertainty of self. Now you may find yourself inspired and motivated with a sense of purpose and passions. The more that you build upon your passion, the greater that your light will shine. Now, this is what the message from Spirit really is around our spiritual path, is taking the higher road of doing what brings you joy through the heart, not through the mind, not what others think we should do. It's following the joy of our heart. So I wanted just to give those two oracle messages. And then I just pulled some tarot cards, and it's like, boom, we got lots of messages here from Spirit about our spiritual journey. And the reason that this is happening, and I'm using today Tarot of the Divine, and this was gifted to me by Dawn. So thank you, Dawn. And this is a beautiful set of tarot cards, and it says they're inspired by deities, folklore, and fairy tales from around the world. So as I go through the cards, I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the cards as I'm learning these descriptions. They're beautiful. Lots of major arcana cards. So let's pay attention, because Spirit is talking to you and talking to each of us very, very specifically. So in terms of why all this is happening on our spiritual path, I got the King of Wands. And this King of Wands is representative of the Phoenix. This is the Phoenix rising. And it comes from Eastern Asian mythology. And the King of Wands here is depicted as a symbol of strength. The legend of the Phoenix spans many cultures, but in all of them, the firebird represents nobility, rebirth, and strength. So we are on this path because we are being rebirthed to our soul's mission and purpose. And that is why we are truly here on earth. And so the King of Wands reminds us of the why, that we have great strength of character, great passion to follow what our soul wanted us to be here for. And that is what brings us joy. So drop into your heart and to connect with what ignites your passion, because that is your signal to you that you are in alignment with your soul's purpose and path. Now, Spirit's guidance moving forward, which is interesting. And this is a card that everyone recognizes. It's the Nine of Swords. Okay. So what Spirit is saying in the Nine of Swords is, I've got a lot of anxiety. I'm probably up at night. I'm worried about, making my daily living. I'm worried about what other people might think of me as I shift into my more spiritual path. And what Spirit is saying is, get out of your head and stop worrying, because it's all going to come together as long as you focus on being in your heart and following what brings you joy. This Nine of Wands is actually a symbolic of Oedipus in Greek mythology. The Nine of Swords represents decision-making controlled by anxiety. The oracle at Delphi warns the king that his son Oedipus will one day kill him. Had he not let his fears control him and raised his son in love versus hate, the king's eventual death could have been avoided. So this is a card of letting go of that anxiety and the need to control. So part of this is we have to surrender to what spirit wants for us. And we do so by getting out of the head and worrying and staying in our heart center. Now, potential outcomes right now along the path of today, Spirit is asking us to be the hermit. And this is a beautiful card depicting the hermit, a white stag. And this has got the hermit with his staff in the forest. And it's a Celtic depiction of the hermit. All right. So the hermit represents going within, digging deep, looking within one's soul, one's heart, and being separated from others so that you can actually get still to hear. It's in the Celtic legend of Ireland. It's a druid stag. It's a druid and the stag. And the hermit represents solitude and leaving responsibilities behind to focus inward. In the Celtic myth, the elusive white stag encourages people to drop everything and to pursue spirituality. So this comes from the Celtic tradition, but the message right now in terms of our outcome for today is it's okay to reflect, pull back, and be in contemplation and to get still to hear the messages that Spirit wants to bring us. Now, what you don't see coming, which is really quite beautiful, is the star card. And this is a beautiful depiction of the star. And I'm going to read this to you. If you'll bear with me here, I am going to shift here because these cards are just so beautifully illustrated. The star is a Russian fairy tale. The star is a symbol of hope after hard times or even a disaster. The need to remain positive after misfortune, to remember that things can get better again. It is by staying calm and being open to future possibilities that you can see your situation with open eyes, open mind, and open heart. But part of the message with the hermit is in order to do this, we have to get still in order to hear Spirit's messages. That is a beautiful depiction of the star, a Russian fairy tale. The last card is advice from Spirit. And what's interesting, I had two cards drop out. And the first one is the Judgment card. And this is the Monkey King in Chinese mythology. Judgment is the reckoning, an ending before the start of a journey. Past actions and decisions determine future events. If you haven't learned your lessons, you are doomed to repeat your mistakes over and over. So this is around learning our karmic lessons and shifting the energy. So many of us are closing out cycles. And what Spirit's message is, have you actually learned the lesson? Has karma been finalized or cleared between you, maybe and yourself, or you and another person or another situation? So Spirit is reminding us through the Monkey King in Chinese mythology that it's important for us to sit back and to understand what lessons were we here to learn. And things don't happen to us, they happen for us so that we can expand our experiences and we can expand our vibration of learning and existing on the planet. And the next card, the last card that dropped out, which is such a beautiful card, and I love it, this is the Fool. So Spirit is actually saying for some of us, this is about taking a leap of faith towards a new way of being on the planet and a new way of being in your body, mind, and spirit. Now, this Fool, I've actually seen this. This is the Little Mermaid out of Denmark. This is actually in Copenhagen. And when you see it, it's a pretty small statue, but it's a Danish fairy tale. The Fool rests on the pinnacle of a decision. She is ready to dive out of her subconscious and into the physical world, to transform from an animal into a human. She's carefree, excited for this new life. So this is a message that for some of you, maybe you have been in fear or anxiety around this new path that you're on, and you're not exactly sure what's coming. It doesn't matter. What Spirit is saying, clear your karma and take that leap of faith. Because if you stay in your heart and you are balanced between body, mind, and spirit, and you're getting still enough to actually hear the messages, you are exactly where you need to be. But by being the hermit, you are actually going to get still enough and quiet enough to hear Spirit's message. So those are the messages today for your daily message. Get quiet, contemplate, let your anxiety go, drop to your heart to find your passion, and you will be provided with Spirit's messages. Get quiet enough in the stillness to hear the answers. And the star brings beautiful healing and hope for the future. Again, we are so grateful for you. Please join us tomorrow on Monday, the 13th, for the full moon conversation in our lives. And hope that you have a great rest of the day. Wherever you are, stay safe, stay warm, stay protected, and also stay grounded. All right. Thank you so much.